Hello everyone, in this class we are going to learn about Colpitts oscillator. First we have to see this circuit diagram. It is basically potential divider circuit. It is a C in C configuration. We have one transistor and R1 is parallel to R2. RC at the collector side and RE at the emitter side. It is LC. It is LC because inductor is placed at collector terminal. It is LE because it is connected at emitter terminal. C1, C2, L1. This is the basic circuit diagram of this Colpitts oscillator. Now we have to derive the equations of omega and HFE. For that we have to write this equation Z1 into Z2 into 1 plus HFE plus Z1 Z3 plus HIE into Z1 plus Z2 plus Z3 is equal to 0. We know that Z1 is equals to 1 by j omega C1 and Z2 is equals to 1 by j omega C2 and Z3 is equals to j omega L. We substitute Z1, Z2, Z3 in the above equation. In the place of Z1 we have to write 1 by j omega C1 and in place of Z2 we have to write 1 by j omega C2 into 1 plus HFE as it is already there here plus Z in the place of Z1 1 by j omega C1 and in the place of Z3 j omega L plus HFE into 1 by j omega C1 plus 1 by j omega C2 plus 1 by j omega L is equals to 0. Then we got this as we multiplied these two. J square, j into j square and j square value is equals to 1 minus 1. From this we got minus 1 by j omega square C1 C2 1 plus HFE plus L by C1 plus HIE into 1 minus j omega C1 minus j omega C2 plus j omega L is equals to 0. We have to divide this equation into two parts, real part and imaginary part. For that we are taking j common and it is classified into two parts. One is real part and another one is imaginary part. Now consider imaginary part is equals to 0. HIE into minus 1 by j omega C1 minus omega C2 plus omega L is equals to 0. Omega L is equals to 1 by omega C1 as we HIE when it comes to here divides and becomes 0. Now omega L is equals to 1 by j omega C1 plus 1 by omega C2. Omega L is equals to cross multiply this, we got omega C2 plus omega C1 by j omega C1 C2. Omega L is equals to when we take common omega from this numerator we have to cancel 1 omega and here 1 omega square remains C1 C2. Omega square when it comes to 1 omega is there here. When it comes to other side it multiplies and omega square becomes omega square. Omega square is equals to consider C1 plus C2 by C1 C2 is equals to C equivalent. So we are writing in the place of this C equivalent by L. Here L is there now, it comes this side and divides. Now omega is equals to root C equivalent by L, or we can reverse, we can write L by C equivalent. Now consider real part is equals to 0. Minus 1 by omega square C1 C2 into 1 plus HFE plus L by C1 is equals to 0. L by C1 is equals to 1 plus HFE by omega square C1 C2. C1 C1 get cancelled. L omega when omega square and C2 comes this side multiplies with L. So L omega square C2 plus is equals to 1 plus HFE. L omega square C2 this 1 comes this side, minus 1 is equals to HFE. HFE is equals to L by, in the place of omega square, in the previously we got omega square value C equivalent by L. Hence we are substituting in the place of omega square C equivalent by L, C2 minus 1. L get cancelled. HFE is equals to C equivalent C2. We know that C equivalent is equals to C1 plus C2 by C1 C2. So we, in the place of C equivalent, we are writing this term C equivalent minus 1. When we take LCM and C1 gets cancelled, C2 by C1. Finally we got HF is equals to C2 by C1 and omega square value is equal to C equivalent by L. Thank you.